You're on the 9 to 12 show. My name's Lynwen Roman. Joining me in studio now, I have Taryn Hayes and her two beautiful girls who are snapping away taking pictures. Now, Taryn is the author of a brand new book called Seekers of the Lost Boy. Now, this is just a snippet of what happens in the book. When a 12-year-old boy, Simon, spots a mysterious object on the beach one cold winter's morning, he never imagines that it will change his life. That's like a cliffhanger, if you ask me. Taryn, welcome. This is your first book.
That's right. Thanks for having me, Lynwen. It's lovely being here.
It is great having you here. And also, let me just allude to the fact that we will be giving away one copy of this book, Seekers of the Lost Boy, to one lucky listener. So keep your ears peeled to the radio, and we are going to be asking you a question that you need to answer correctly in order to stand a chance of winning. I'm loving it. I'm just looking at the cover of the book, and is this Muizenberg or St. James? Muizenberg, definitely Muizenberg. First of all, let's find out more about you as an author. Who is Taryn Hayes?
Well, first and foremost, mom and homeschooling mom and wife. In fact, the author label is something I never expected to attach to my name anytime soon anyway. It was a long-time dream since I was little, but I didn't expect to be writing books until my kids were all grown up, but circumstances changed that. But first and foremost, my daytime hours are consumed with homeschooling my 4 children.
4?
Yes.
I'm telling you, Taryn, I had my nephew over for the weekend, and I felt like I went to gym for 12 hours. So I really do take my hat off to you for homeschooling 4 children. I don't know how you do it. You're a woman of many talents, I must say. Taryn, when did you know that you wanted to write for kids?
That's actually quite a good question. I always knew I wanted to write stories, but in terms of writing for children, I first thought about writing for my own children. We do a literature-based curriculum for our homeschool, and through it we have read the most amazing stories and amazing books, and the kids have learned so much through great literature. So what I discovered was that all the books that we were reading were brilliant, but very little about South Africa, and also not so much about homeschooled children. In fact, we haven't actually come across any other books where the main characters or any other characters are homeschooled for that matter. And then also Christian theology, Christian thinking, biblical worldview. There are many books like that, but I really want to be able to give something to my own children where they could learn about what we believe and the theology behind it. What is the gospel actually? How do we explain what justification is, and all the shin words that we hear about, and so on.
Okay, so without giving too much away, Taryn, tell us more about what happens in the story. We know the main character's name is Simon, and he finds he's on the Muizenberg beach.
That's right.
One very cold winter's morning. He must love the beach. He must have time to walk around there, and he finds this bottle. What's
That's
in?
Right. So he and his family, he has 2 siblings who are 10. They're twins. And a much younger sibling who's at home, and their mum and the children go off to the beach on winter for a homeschool project. The kids are homeschooled, and when they get there, the weather really turns quite bad, as it sometimes does in Cape Town. But they manage to find this bottle, and inside it is this message, and it's written by another boy who was also 12 years old, but from 30 years ago.
Wow. And
the message contains one question: who is God, and does he care about me? And obviously it's quite exciting finding a bottle with a message from 30 years ago. But the question as well intrigues the family, and they decide to try and find this boy. His name is Joseph. And the clue's left in the letter, so they know that he's from the Cape Flats from 30 years ago. And it leads them on this whole journey that has them exploring their apartheid past. And the kids find themselves all over Cape Town. They're in this Cape Town Central Library. They're visiting District 6 and the history of District 6, which this book really does explore in some detail. And they're in Muizenberg. They're at Meadow-Ridge Library is mentioned. Really, it's a story that is very, very much authentically South African.
Okay, what was your favorite part of the book?
Goodness, that's like asking who's your favorite child.
It's got to be, because I write too. And so I know out of the pieces that I've written, I mean, you have your favorites. There must be a favorite for you.
There are quite a few, I suppose.
Your favorite turning point, let me put it in that way.
I think this book deals with the gospel in a very clear way. And for me, I think the chapters that deal with that were definitely a turning point for me. They were a turning point for me when I was writing this, because initially I wrote it for my own children, and I didn't plan on having it published. But I started thinking it would be a nice idea to get it published. But when I wrote those chapters, I thought, this is a message that I really want to share. And I felt overwhelmingly moved while writing those chapters, knowing that not just the fact that the gospel is the biggest and most wonderful gift anybody can receive, but to have the privilege of sharing that with other people. It felt like somebody had given me this momentous opportunity and privilege and task, and I felt inadequate to be able to be the one to do that, but also in awe and humbled by God's grace to be able to do that. So that was a turning point for me emotionally and personally in the story. But I have lots of other little favorites. There's a DJ, DJ G, who features in the book, and he's quite an amusing character. My kids love him amongst others the best, and he's a lot of fun. So yeah, his scenes I quite enjoy as well.
We're chatting to Taryn Hayes. She is a mother and a wife, and the author of a brand new novel called Seekers of the Lost Boy. We're going to be giving away one copy to one lucky listener this morning, and it is an autographed copy. Taryn, this cannot be the last for you.
No.
Definitely not the last.
No. When I started writing this book, I wanted to be able to give, as I said before, a great understanding for Christian kids, and also non-Christian kids, a great understanding of the Bible and biblical theology. And so in my mind, I planned a series where each book will keep following this particular family, but that they would go from a historical point to an historical point in South Africa and around the world. So they will be dealing with historical issues. So in this book, they deal with District 6. In other books, I have other historical, places to visit,
landmarks
to visit. Yeah, not just landmarks, but periods of history to visit. So that's the one thought I had. But the other thought was that for Christian kids, I want them to be able to get a really, really good understanding of their faith. And so each book will deal with another aspect of Christian theology, biblical theology, and explore that. So, yeah, that's the idea. So I do have the next two books planned in my mind. I haven't got down to writing them yet, but that's next on the agenda.
Well, with 4 kids, homeschooling them and being a wife, that is quite understandable. Taryn, I must say that as a teenager, I loved reading spellbinding books, especially mysteries or Christian books with a little bit of a thriller, and I'm definitely going to buy myself a copy of your book and read it, because a lot of the stuff that I was reading was based on Western American culture, and so this is absolutely what I'm holding in my hand right now is an absolute treasure. What is that, Simon wondered? It is probably nothing, except it glowed. When 12-year-old Simon spots a mysterious object on the beach one cold winter's morning, he never imagines that it will change his life. Together with Nick and Kim, his 10-year-old twin siblings, Simon decides to track down the origin of the object. What they discovered reveals a family secret, a history they never understood, and the answer to a question they never asked. Who is God, and does he care about me? The boy who wrote the message in the bottle, his name is Joseph. Do they ever find him?
Oh, that would be giving away so many details. Oh, yes, they do find him.
I'm sitting on the edge of my seat here. I'm so intrigued.
And he is pivotal to the story. In fact, DJG is his cousin. And so there's good family relationships that are explored in this story as well. But they do. But he'll be a 42-year-old man by the time they discover him.
Very nice. So we've got a question to ask for those of you wanting to win the copy of this book that Taryn has signed. And our question is?
Well, we've given it away. The answer is, it will be quite easy for those who've been listening. It's who is DJ G's cousin?
Who is DJ G's cousin? Send us your answer along with your name and surname to 0837889494. And the question we're asking is, who is DJ G's cousin? Is it Simon or is it Joseph? Let us know. 0837889494. Taryn, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll check back with you as soon as you get the next book out. What is it that you want children and parents alike to take away from this book?
Oh, so many things. But one of the biggest things that I really want families to enjoy is discussion. To be able to sit down and read these books together, I think it would be great if parents can read it aloud to their kids. And many parents have already, and I've had awesome feedback. But there's so many issues that are raised in this book that are relevant to South Africans. Dealing with apartheid, dealing with the theme of forgiveness. So families together read this. It will generate a lot of discussion. I would love for that, for families to really get down into the nitty-gritty and talk about these issues together. And to share it, to be excited about this book and want to share it with their friends and with their schools and so on. That would be awesome. I'd really like that.
Now, Taryn, for those people who are not going to be lucky enough to win a copy of the book, where else is it retailing?
Well, the sponsor for this book that's actually on the giveaway is Christian Book Discounters. They can definitely get it there. And Christian Book Discounters is, their main office is in Belvedere Road in Claremont. But they do have bookstores all over Cape Town. Also, there's Carmel Books in Bergfleet. They sell it. And then it's also available from the online bookstores like Loot and Kalahari, Book Depository. It's definitely at Exclusive Books and Kun Books. And then overseas it's available on Amazon, and it's available on Kindle as well, Amazon Kindle. With regards to going into, you can walk into a Kun bookstore. They might not have it on their shelves, but you just need to give them the ISBN number, which is on my website, and they can get it for you.
Okay, and the website is tarynhayes.com. There's also a giveaway running at the moment if you've got a Kindle, and I'm going to be placing just Taryn's link for the URL to her website up on our Facebook page. Sorry, I'm getting a bit decongested as I'm sitting here. So, Taryn Hayes is who we've been chatting to. She's the author of Seekers of the Lost Boy. And you can keep those SMSs coming through to 0837889494. We're asking the question, who is DJ G's cousin? SMS us your name and surname to 0837889494, along with the answer to the question, who is DJ G's cousin? Taryn, we'll catch up with you soon, and good luck, all the best with the book.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.